Jalapeno cheddar bread. That's what I'm making today for my son-in-law. I know he likes it and he's been working really, really hard. So this will be a nice little treat for him. So let's make this together. It'll be super soft on the inside, cheesy, spicy, and just delicious. So Marcus, if you're watching, this is for you. So what I have in my bowl, I have 1 cup of warmed up milk, 1 whisked up egg, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and let that bloom. And then I added 3.5 tablespoons of really soft butter, unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon of salt. And that's where I'm at right now. Next up, I'm gonna chop up my jalapenos. I have right here about 1/2 cup or so of jalapenos. I'm gonna dice these up, really chop them up super finely. And I have a cup of shredded cheese that we're gonna be adding as well. So, okay, to my mixture that I have in the bowl, I'm gonna add 3.5 cups or roughly 400 grams of bread flour. You could use all-purpose, but it'll be a denser loaf, and I want this to be nice and airy and have a slight chew. And I also want the extra protein for him as well. So I'm using bread flour today. Gonna stir this up, and then I'll add the jalapenos that I've finely chopped up and the shredded cheese. Now I'm gonna be adding in the chopped jalapenos. Also, I removed the seeds. I don't want seeds in my bread. And I'm gonna be adding that shredded cheese. And this is a kind of a mixture of that Mexican shredded cheese. It's a couple different cheeses in here that are just blended. You could use whatever kind of cheese you like. Monterey Jack, Colby Jack, cheddar, white cheddar, whatever you like. I'll give this another mix, and then I'll bring this out onto the bench and continue kneading it by hand. Okay, so I've put some flour on my surface here, and I'm gonna take this out of the bowl. Kind of got like a kind of a shaggy dough there, but I'm gonna continue kneading it on the bench here. And I'm gonna continue kneading this until we have a nicer, more uniformed, cohesive dough. So it is a sticky dough, so don't be afraid if it's really, really gummy and sticky. Just keep going. You could add a few little pinches of flour here and there as you need to, just to kind of lift it up off of your bench. It's still sticky. Again, don't be afraid of it. It's a high hydration dough. All right, now that we've got a ball, very sticky ball at that, but a ball. We're gonna take our bowl, gonna oil the bowl a little bit. I'm gonna use my bench scraper and just kind of scoop it up, put it in the bowl. I'm gonna just kind of flip it around a little bit. And little dude's gonna kind of chill for about an hour. Not chill, but I mean rest. He's gonna rest covered for about an hour, then we'll come back. All right, we're back. So it's been about an hour and our dough's doubled in size. Hang on, let me turn this music down because it's a little bit loud. All right, I always have music on when I'm cooking, so sorry. Okay, our dough has doubled in size. I have a little bit of more shredded cheese, just a little bit, just for the top. And I have 1 jalapeno that I sliced, and we'll use that for the top. All right, so let's get some flour on our bench here. Comes right out. Bring this together. Bring it together. And it's super soft now. Okay. Let's kind of flatten this out just a little bit so that it's nice and uniform. We'll take out a lot of the air so we don't have a whole lot of big pockets. Okay, so we'll fold it over like an envelope type of thing. All right, we're gonna fold it over in thirds first. Thirds. Gonna bring it this way, and then we're gonna roll, pull and roll. Gets a little sticky, just get some of the flour in your hands. Pull and roll, pull and roll, pull and roll, And the reason we're pulling it is to create a little bit of tension on the surface. We'll get a good rise when we do that. All right, okay, got my loaf pan. I'm gonna get some spray, and I'm gonna spray them inside. And I just used avocado spray. All right, so let's get him into the pan. All right, I'll put the pan there. Put it in. All right, now at this point, I'm just gonna sprinkle a tiny little bit of, just a little bit of flour over the top. Just a tiny little bit here. We're gonna use that to score the bread, or the dough rather. All right, now we're back with what's called, this is like a blade. This is called a bread lame. It's funny because it looks like the word lame, L-A-M-E, but it's pronounced lame. All right, so I'm just gonna do some diagonal scores on here. Top it with the one sliced jalapeno and just a little bit of cheese on top before we get it going into the oven. Before we do that, we're gonna cover this and do another little bit of a rise, just so that it kind of puffs up just over the edge of the rim of the pan, and then we'll get it into the oven. All right, I'm just doing some deep scores here. And I'm gonna add some jalapenos into those scores, just kind of push them in there. It'll be a nice little surprise up on the top of the crust. And a little bit of the cheese on top. Hi! Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, and look at that. It's risen above the edge of the loaf pan, so we're gonna put this into the oven. I've already had it preheating to 356 degrees. That's my oven temperature. My 350 is a little weak, so I bumped it up to 356. If your oven is pretty strong, you can leave it at 350. If it's like mine, a little on the weak side, you can bump it up to 356. I'm gonna estimate roughly 30 minutes, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And as soon as I see it's toasting up how I like it, then I'm gonna take a thermometer and check the temperature. And as soon as it hits the 190 mark, degrees Fahrenheit, then I'm gonna take it out at that point. That's how I know it will be done. So, all right, we'll be back soon. I forgot to mention, I put it in to the oven with a pan with water in it. The water pan went in at the same time I started preheating my oven, so that the water would start getting a little boil when I put the raw loaf in. So that way it creates a little steam to get that nice soft crust on the top of the loaf. So here she is. She ended up taking 40 minutes and came up to like 192. So I let her sit for a little bit and checked her again, and she came up just shy of 200. So we're good. I'm not gonna slice into it so that my son-in-law can be the first one to cut into it, because this is for him. So here you go. I know it's gonna be amazing. It feels super nice and soft, and it looks and smells amazing. So if you make it, tag me and let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions on anything throughout the process. The recipe will be below in the comments, okay? Don't forget to share, like, follow, all the good stuff. All right, take care.